Okay, this is my battle for King 90 Max tournament. Oh man. So he leads the Jirachi and I lead with my rocks wet. Because, you know, my rock is definitely wet because all Uxies are damp rock leads in Anywho, but whatever. So, I decide to be a gigantic thing and go out to Magnezone to make him stay in because he can't switch and he is locked on Stealth Rock. We had a battle before this, but it disconnected for some random reason. So, he Stealth Rocks, which does nothing for him at all, because it's already up. And I Thunderbolt and Life Orb Magnezone is a beast, a boss, and many other things. So Jirachi dies, and then we're just sitting here waiting for the communication to take place. And then he goes out to Scissor, and I was thinking, okay, he's going to like Superpower or something, but no, he goes for a U-turn, which I'm surprised breaks the sub. So now my Magnezone is without anything to eat, and he goes out to a Heatran, and I'm just like, oh great, you're going to make me ride a train, and I don't have anything to eat. You're so mean. There's no telling how long this train's going to take. So I have to switch out, and I'm in the zone, but I have to go away. So now my rock is wet again, and thankfully he decides to show me the powers of the earth, but since I'm a levitating individual, I don't have to worry about that because I have a wet rock, but not really. So I start twisting dimensions for no reason, and then I decide to turn into a U because this is a strange dimension where Uxie turns into the first letter of its name. So now I go out to Don't Shoot, and I don't remember the significance of the name. I really don't remember. So I decided to just go for Swords Dances because Vaporeon can't do jack to me, unless it has Jill, but he doesn't. So I was thinking he might go for Hidden Power Electric, but nope, he decides to go out to Salamence to intimidate me, but that's not going to do anything because I'm just going to dance with more swords, which renders intimidation useless. And I go for a Rock Slide, and that kills off the Salamence. Apparently he forgot about Trick Room, but whatever, can't really blame him. So Trick Room decides to die that turn, because we cannot trick individuals anymore. So I decided to just see how much A+ the Rock Slide will do to Vaporeon, and Vaporeon just lives the Rock Slide because being buried in rocks doesn't kill anything, apparently. So he decides to go out to his Gengar now, and I decide to predict the switch and go for a Swords Dance, although I think if I had gone for an attacking move there, Gengar would have been out of the way long before it had to be. So I Aqua Jet, and he decides to be a Vaporeon and take the water and just absorb it into its body. So he goes for a Surf when it does nothing, and I decide to throw more rocks at it because maybe throwing rocks at it will do something, but unfortunately he lives, because nothing lives, nothing dies, it's all fainting. So he decides to just go for more lefties gain, and I'm like, ha, I predict you, and go for Swords Dance. Now what? Now what? And now I decide to just go for another Rock Slide as he goes out to Heatran for fodder, and this kind of sucks. I get a useless crit, and it's just going all downhill from here. So he goes out to Scissor, and I'm fearing the superpower, but I figure, well, I'm at +6. Aqua Jet should be able to do at least, and doesn't kill. So he decides to superpower, and just to rub salt into the wound, he gets a crit, which is overkill. So he did over like 1,000 damage in that scenario. So Scissor is just standing out there, and he has his superpowers on, and he's like, haha, oh no, a ghost. So he's afraid of the ghost, because it's not Ghost Nappa. And he decides to go out to Gengar, and I burn it, because ghosts must burn. Apparently. Or something like that. So, we decided to see if he loves me by sneaking around in the shadows and destroying his Gengar, but it doesn't work out in the end. So he throws a ball of shadows at me, and I somehow live at 12. And now I decide to just predict here that he's not going to want to stay in or something like that, and I was doing some stuff with my webcam, but my webcam was like, you know, right where the number keypad was, so I was doing calculations to see if I could let a Stealth Rock switch in, and he switches out to Scizor, which I get a Pain Split off on, and that doesn't really affect much. So had I stayed in here and gone for Trick Room, things might have gone differently, because I don't think a U-turn could have killed me. I'm not sure, I don't know. Dusknoir is rather bulky. It didn't kill this thing, which has less defense, so I don't know. It's both not very effective on them, so I don't know. I should probably run calculations, but I don't feel like it. So he Shadow Balls, my Magnezone gets a more than likely useless crit, and then he dies to burn. So, now he goes out to... I go back out to my lead, because I still have my lead, and he goes out to Vaporeon, and this thing is the bane of my existence. So he decides to try and Toxic me, but he misses, which doesn't really affect much, because he's just going to be a stalling guy now, because that's all he wants to do to me. So he decides to go out to his scissor, cause why not? And I psychic and it lives barely. So now he knows he's going to die in another hit, and I know he's going to die in another hit, so I decide to U-turn, but he goes out to Vaporeon, the bane of my existence. So I don't get this. With Vaporeon, if I use it, it doesn't do anything, but if anybody else uses it, it destroys teams. I just don't get it. NBZ sweeps with Vaporeon. I just have my Vaporeons die. This guy has a Vaporeon with excellent luck, and I have Vaporeons with terrible luck. So he decides to see what I'm going to lock myself into, because from the last battle he knew I was scarfed, because he tricked a scarf onto me, which was already on me, so he's got locked on the trick. And I go for Bug Buzz, since it will be more powerful than Energy Ball at this point. And my English Moth is not going to be able to kill this Vaporeon, unfortunately. I don't understand what it is, because every time I use a Vaporeon, it just dies to like 3 hits, or 2 hits, or whatever. And this Vaporeon just lives everything. So he decides to surf me down into range, and I figure I should just switch, forgetting about Stealth Rock being in play, and I go out to, you know you'd hate me as a ghost, and he protects, which doesn't affect much. So I figure my options at this point would be to get out another Shadow Stake, so I do, because I'm honestly confused about what kind of Vaporeon this is. I'm guessing it's standard max HP, max defense with Toxic and everything, and I don't know. It's walled by itself if it has Protect or Sub or whatever. So he wishes again, and I just set up Stealth Rock to ensure that he cannot pass a wish off to Scizor. And he decides to Toxic and miss again as I go for Trick Room again. And I'm hoping that I can just come up with some type of plan in this Trick Room of mine, and I decide to fodder my English Moth because he's very English. And now I have to decide what to do here. I go out to Regirock, and Regirock's like, I can't see anything. So Regirock decides to start cursing at the fact that I can't see, and this is going to come important in a second here, because I decide to go for Stone Edge, and I miss. So further proving that Stone Edge is the best move in the game. So now I'm thinking, well crap, I need to go for Stone Edge because I can't do anything else. If I curse, then I'm just going to die because Dimensions went back to normal after this turn. So he hits me down to 13, and I'm like, ah, crap, unlucky number, I'm going to die. I'm going to die 1,000 deaths. And then the Trick Room wears off, so he has to kill me off with Surf. If I'd switched him with Stealth Rock, I would have killed me anyways. So he is stalling me out with the Vaporeon, which really sucks. So I go out to Uxie, and I start hoping for some form of hacks in my favor, but of course it's not going to happen. I only get 1 useless crit this entire match. Albeit the majority of the crits in this match were all useless, but still. So I'm on the PlayStation Network now because he poisoned me, which makes total sense. And he goes out to Scizor just to make me get weathered down by poison more, and I go for Psychic and hit nothing because my rock is wet, and I can't hit anything because I keep slipping on it. So I Psychic the Vaporeon because I want to read its mind, and it's like, haha, your Vaporeons suck, I'm better than any Vaporeon you've ever had. And then I die from poisoning because I've just got killed by a PlayStation fanboy. So yeah, that was a good game, be legit. I do like 1-0s, but I don't know, it's for a tournament, so I should be kind of upset about my loss. About this team, I was using it on Shoddy for a couple of days, and there's been a lot of noobs on Shoddy lately, like major case noobs. I've never seen so many Ninjasks and Electivires in my life. But, whatever. Good game, JoshLee321, I can't remember. I can't count.